Hi everybody, and welcome to a new series that I'm going to do, Cute and Cozy Builds. I hope you enjoy it. This is the first one, a little cottage, and it can fit in a chunk with a few modifications. So here's the cottage. As you can see by the leaves outlined on the ground, that's the chunk barrier. I like to make my roofs kind of go out a little bit, angled outward, and add little details. Those little details go outside the chunk. So if you are trying to keep it inside of a chunk, you'll just need to make the roof go straight up and not do the little transitions outward, which when we get to that point, I'll explain it again and I'll remind you. Here is the base of the cottage. It's very small, but it's cozy, and there's still a lot of room, as you'll see when we get done. So your cobble placement is 9 blocks from each other on the width. Then it's 7 blocks from each other on the right and the left. Then we've got the front part that juts out. It's 5 blocks wide and 4 blocks away, and it's exactly centered on the 9 by 7 rectangle. These dimensions are from cobble to cobble, and then you will place your log supports on each corner as they're shown in the picture. So let's go ahead and fill in and add cobble along the lines here. This is going to be the base of your cottage because cottages are usually built on cobble or some sort of stone. This is part of what makes them so cozy. I'll be putting in the description an approximation of the materials that you'll be needing for this cottage. So right here on these inner corners, we're going to put some logs. Then I like to break it up sometimes and add some other kind of stone material inside the cobble here and there. Just randomly, I'm going to use cracked stone bricks. All of these materials should be fairly easy to obtain in a vanilla survival world. That's how I like to normally play, so I like to use materials that are fairly easy to get. Sometimes I'll go fancy, but in this case, we're going to keep it a little bit simple. So here's our base outline of the cottage. Now we're going to start building up the pillars. These are the support beams for the house. For the main section, I like to go up 6 blocks. Just like this. So we're going to go ahead, finish the rest, and then I'll come back. So here we have all of the beams built up to 6 blocks. Now on this front part, it's got to be 2 blocks lower than the other one. So we're going to go up 4 blocks. I like to do support beams like this, catty-cornered away from the corner blocks because it adds more depth and character to the house. So when you get to the top of these support beams, you want to put 1 block sticking outward on each of the sides here. These are supports for your roof later on. They also add a lot of depth and a lot of character. Whoops, keep me splicing. So let's go ahead and finish all of these. Oops, there we go again. There, now we have all of the roof supports on our main supports. So it's still very condensed and small and fits inside of our chunk. Let's go ahead and start adding in our walls. I've chosen to use yellow terracotta, but you can use anything. Yellow terracotta is fairly easy to get early game. Even if you don't have a mesa, you can go and collect the clay balls and cook them. Let's go ahead and you can decide where you want your windows. So you can go ahead and begin to fill in your walls and go up to 1 block below the top of the pillars. On the front part, you can go all the way up to the top of the pillar here. The front part here, we're going to have to do some filling in later when we connect the roofs because this is the transition part that you just have to do last. All right, so now all of our walls are filled in and I've left the openings for the windows. Well, let me just add 2 there. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and the inner beams, we're going to go ahead and just fill these up. These inner beams add a little bit of character to the inside of the house and it just sort of pulls in the inside from the outside. Okay, so now let's do the very top layer here. We're going to add our logs. Total amount of logs used for this project is probably, I didn't count, but if you gather between 2 and 3 stacks, you'll have plenty of logs to do this. It's about 2 stacks. Now remember, you're going to need more logs to make into planks for the floors and the roof. So here we have our base outline. Now let's go ahead and add in our windows. I'm using white stained glass panes. You can use any color or just plain. I like the white because it almost looks like frosty. It gives a very charming and calming effect. There. All right, now we're going to start on the roof. The first thing you want to do is place an upside down stair in the corner. Just like this. Then we place a solid block on top of that. Then a right side up stair on top of that, but facing the center of the house. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. We want to mirror this until they meet. There. Now what I like to do is make my roofs jut out a little bit outward. So this gives a lot of depth and dimension. But if you're trying to keep it inside of a chunk, you don't want to go outward like I'm going to show you just now. You'll want to do your upside down stair exactly on behind the other one, the other cobble stair. So I'm going to place any old block right there. Then I'm going to put the stair there and I'm going to take away my block. Oops, but don't take away that one. Remember, if you're keeping in a chunk, you don't want to go out one block. You need to stay on the original one. But you want to do another transition just like that. It's 2 stairs with a solid block inside. We want to mirror this on the other side. So I'm going to place my random block, my upside down stair, and I'm going to take away my random block. There, just like that. I like to make my roofs go outward like that because it just adds so much more depth and you can get a lot of dimension from this. All right, so we're going to do the same thing again and go outward one more time. Solid block and then a stair. There we go. Now we wanted to use slabs for the top part of the roof, the tip. So we're going to place a slab and then right there in the center and get rid of that one that we used to place. I like to add an extra little piece, either another slab or a stair, and I think I'm going to use a stair just like that. So that gives the little pitch of the roof, just something that sticks out. Remember, if you're trying to keep it in the chunk, you can't go out like that. I just like to go out like that because it gives so much more dimension. There we go. Now we've got the roof outlined. So you can see on this back section how I went out, and on the third one, I just didn't go out a 4th time. I kept it on the same block. That's what you'll need to do for the entire roof if you're trying to keep inside of a chunk. All right, let's go ahead and put in our upper floor. I'm going to use birch because that goes very well with the yellow terracotta and the spruce logs that I've chosen. The next thing that we want to do is fill in the roof in between the outlines of the roof. Don't worry about this part right now. When we get more towards the combining of the roofs, then we're going to fix this. All right, so I'm using spruce to finish the roof, to go in between the cobble outlines. So you just follow the blocks. The same block that's on the end, you use all the way across and you fill it in. So we're going to fill in the rest of the roof and I'm going to show you how to transition these 2 points. So here we go. You're going to start with one side and then go to the other side and make the blocks come together. And then once they're together, you can add the block. Oh, there's this little space down here. So we've got to fill this in. There. So you just go up 1 block each time until they meet. and just about finished. There, now the roof is complete. Now we're going to work on the inside part. I like to use a different color for the under the roof here, but for the walls on the second floor. I'm going to be using white concrete. You can pick any color really. You can pick light gray, something neutral. You can even pick a wood color. I might have used birch if I wasn't using a birch floor, but since my floor is birch, I didn't really want these walls to also be birch. So I'm going to fill in right here along the top of that log. That's my defining wall section. I'm going to add the concrete in until I have a nice window opening that I like. I like that. I'm going to do that on the other side here, and then we will go to the front part. All right, so here, I wanted to extend my floor out. So I have a little nook here. This is where the bed's going to go upstairs. And it looks like I need to add a log beam right there. Yes, I think that looks right. Now we're going to add our white concrete wall here. And I think I'm going to have just a very small window, and this window will be behind the bed. I love windows in cottages. It lets the light in, and it just looks charming. We're going to have to fill this in now. Now that we have the above closed in, let's fill in this wall. And I think I'm going to go ahead and just use the yellow terracotta. Yeah, I like that. I like how that looks. Oh, hello, sheep. Do you want to live in this house? Hi. All right, so now you have to decide how you're going to get upstairs. Are you going to make some stairs, or are you going to use a ladder? I think in this case, because I'm trying to keep it cozy, but still spacious, I'm going to use this beam right here as the ladder going up. There's still a lot of room up here. All right, let's go ahead and add the floor downstairs. And oh, look, I already had jack-o'-lanterns ready. You want to put some kind of lighting source under your slabs. So this lets the light shine through, and you don't have to have near as much lighting above you. So go ahead and place, I'm going to use spruce. Go ahead and place your slabs as your floor. Let's finish this up. There we go. Now we have a complete inside. We can start decorating and adding small details. The first detail is the light above the doorway. I've got a stair and a fence and then a cute little lantern. For the ceiling, I'm going to add another slab. This just makes it go down a little. No, I think I need an extra fence here. Those don't look right like that. So I'm going to use a different color fence and then add my lanterns. Yes, I like that. That looks good. So we have below lighting and above lighting, and it still looks cute. Let's go upstairs. Now we need to add some lighting up here. We're going to place one right there. That's where above the bed goes. And then we're going to add some fences here. We're going to go one block out in from the outside there and down 4 probably, since the roof is so tall. And same thing on the other side. I like to work with the odd numbers because this, I can easily find the center. There we go. So we have 2 lights, 3 lights upstairs, 3 lights downstairs, and it looks cozy. Now we're going to go outside. We want to add some lighting outside hanging down from our roof. I like to select a fence that is very close in color to the beam pillars. So in this case, I'm going to use dark oak fencing, and then we add our light. Okay, now I want to add a little bit of just some sort of detail on the roof lines here. And I'm using stone slabs, smooth stone slabs. No, not smooth stone, they're cooked ones. These give a little bit of contrast from the cobble, but they still blend with them because they're kind of a gray color. So let's add the other hanging down lights from the rooftops. There we go. I like that. I'm liking how this is looking. Lots of little charming details. Okay, another thing that I like to do is add little stone buttons to the little parts that stick out of my pillar beams. You can actually select a wood color, but I like stone for this because it looks more cottagey. It looks more foresty, like you're just out in the open, and it makes it look like little rivets are holding your house together. I really like that. All right, now let's add some details to the support pillars. I like to use something that's a little bit different in color. So in this case, I'm gonna try the stone brick wall. I like that. I like how this looks. So I think I'm gonna begin adding this around the other sides of the houses. Down on the floor, let's try something. I don't really like, I don't like how that goes together, but I do like the cobble stairs. So let's figure out how we can add these cobble stairs to the bottom of the house here. At the bottom of the support beams, gives it a little more extra depth, but we don't want it to look funny. So let me just figure this out. There, no, I don't like that, I don't think. Sometimes it's trial and error. You gotta place blocks down, you gotta see how the corners fit, and that's too much. So let's take this out. And we're gonna get this. We're gonna get this in just a few. Let me think. I think I like the cobble stairs. There we go. See, I like that. Okay, so now we have to figure out how we're gonna do this on the sides. Let's take that one out. And I think that, yes. Okay, this works. All right, we want to do this on the other side. There we go. Now I want to finish adding the stone brick walls to all these little corners, all the support beams. There, I like that. Now we're going to add some fences. These are dark oak fences, but I think those might be too dark. They don't add enough contrast. I think I want to change that to spruce. Yep, let's do that. Let's change it to spruce. Oh, that looks much better. See how it gives just a little bit of pop of color and a little bit of contrast? There we go. Much better. I like that. Let's do this all around the rest of the house. And on this back side, you can add one in the center there. It kind of helps tie in the roof. All those little details are done. I'm liking how this cottage is turning out. Just remember, see how the light is right there on the edge of the chunk. If you're working in an area where everything must be inside that chunk, your roof can't not extend out like I've got it. You've got to make the roof go straight up on the first line. That way you can still have details and still be in your chunk. All right, let's line a light on the outside right there. Perfect. Now we have a porch light. I like how this is looking. All right, don't forget the details to your house. Look, you can add window shutters by using trapdoors. You can make planters outside your window. You can add leaves for little bushes like this. Let's go inside. I've already decorated the inside, but I want to show you what you can do. Decorating is kind of a personal thing. You can choose to put stuff wherever you want. So I've got leaves up at the top with trapdoors under them, and that looks like the leaves are on the shelf. I even have a little rug to wipe my feet on. I chose sandstone stairs for a couch. Put bookshelves in random places. You can make a little bookshelf nook like this. Some flower pots. You've got a chair and a table. in a kitchen with a cake. That's a smoker. I like to hide chests under my counters. It's not really that hidden, but it's out of the way, but it's still there. So it's like it's condensed. You still have everything that you need. And a stack of cakes. What I also love to do in kitchens, I like to keep a corner open with a trap door because you can make a little access to a basement. So you can go down here and cut yourself out a bigger storage basement if you need more storage. It's a little dark down here. Let me put a light. So you can dig yourself out a little basement and have access up through the kitchen. But it doesn't look like an access. It's covered by a trap door. So it just looks like a counter. All right, let's check out the upstairs. Oh, don't forget paintings on the wall. Let me see, can I get upstairs? So upstairs, you have plenty of room for a full enchanting area. Plus there's a little bit of room for storage. See, it's a full enchant. An anvil, some chests, got your bed here, extra chest, and even some decorations. It still looks spacious, and you have at least the bare essentials that you need to get started. All right, so that's gonna wrap up this quick and cozy tutorial. Just a quick little cottage. It's very easy, and you can personalize it and make it all your own. You can change some of the materials. There's so many options. I'm gonna be having some more tutorials of mini builds like this, cute and cozy builds. Thank you for watching. If you subbed today, thank you for subbing. If you liked the video, thank you so much. I hope you check out some more cute and cozy build tutorials.